Alright, here is the video review for Generation Select's Piranacon Golf, or Scalor, as he was over here in the States. Golf is a Japanese name. But yeah, a little walking coelacanth with, I guess a coelacanth. He's got a little opening jaw here. Lots of weapons on him. He's got a hand on his butt, which you can take off to reveal his little fishy tail. And then he's got part of the sword, the combiner mode sword. I like how everything stores on him, but that's really more what you're looking at for the old G1 toy with the guns. And yeah, a remold of, I believe, Ripper Snapper in Titan's Return. But, or Combiner Wars, Titan, I don't remember. But yeah, here he is. He's got little posable fishy feet and legs. And, oh, I didn't even realize his feet moved. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm wrong. And the little angly. Well, this leg's a little loose, so if you get him at too much of an angle, he doesn't like to play nice. But there we go. But yeah, he's got chomp-a-chomp action. And the tail comes off. You can combine them. I'm looking forward to the whole set. This thing flips around to form a gun, although like this, I wish this hinge were a little tighter. It stays just fine in gun mode, but it doesn't take much to knock it out of place, and just a little bit more. It is just friction fit in there, so maybe a little floor polish or something in those grooves. It'll help it stick a little better. We can take that off to the side. And the hands this time around are nice. The combiner hands have, I mean, just at the first knuckle, like the fingers are all one solid piece, but it's got individual articulated fingers. There is a little removable bit for putting stuff in there. And that, or actually not just stuff, but like that's how the gun version of each weapon plugs into the hand. It plugs into the hand versus being held. But for any handheld weapons, any hand, you flip this peg out, but like it's got the thumb, it's got the peg hole in the thumb, but also instead of having two thumbs like a lot of them did, or just a single thumb in the middle, it's actually on a whole hinge piece here that lifts up, down and around, and brings the thumb all the way around to the other side. So you only have one thumb, and it's not awkwardly sitting in like the middle of the hand. It does actually form a hand, and then the fingers work like that, which is really kind of cool. So yeah. And then these guns can come off. These actually plug together somehow for, oh, right here. Yeah, you can plug those together for weapon mode. Which I'm not going to show off the gun mode. I'll show off arm and leg mode, but maybe. We'll see. We'll flip those up, bring those legs down, fold the feet around, and you can see there's a little peg hole there to tab them on. Bring his arms down. Bring this whole backpack down and around. I'll flip out the fist. And bring it around. Bring it down. There we go. Flip out the fist. Turn his head around. And this just kind of folds up onto his back. And there's several different ways to do this. But you can see there's like some little tabs up here. And you just kind of, no, not like that. There we go. Just kind of set him in those grooves. Have it sit on his backpack. And there he is in robot mode. And again, there's ways you can get this to sit at an angle. There's different ways to get it to tab in. But however we're going to position the backpack really is there. It does have a little, if you want to put something in, there's a plug on the other side of the other side of his jaw. I'm good at speechifying tonight. Yeah, there he is. You can give him his big gun. Now this wrist again is just a friction. It's not pinned or ratcheted at all. So this gun is a little heavy for his hand. It does tend to, in certain positions, it just likes to group. If you have him hold it up, oddly enough, having him hold it up, he can actually kind of hold it fairly decently. But that's a kind of awkward pose for that big of a gun. But it's there. You can also, if you want to just store it on his side, you can bring it back here and kind of plug it in while he's holding onto his other guns. Well, maybe you can't. I don't know. But you can give him either of his smaller weapons. You can give him this sword. There's a little peg hole there for having him hold the sword, although in the wrong direction. The sharp edge is facing him. Where'd Spinister go? Where'd you go, Spinister? Come back here. So just real quick, here he is with Spinister. So a little small for, I mean, I guess for Siege, but Spinister is actually a little tall for a Deluxe. I mean, he's your standard Titans Return, Combiner Wars, Combiner Limb figure. They're in robot mode. Nice details. So same kind of ball joint shoulders, the hinge, ball joint elbows, head swivel, waist swivel, ball joint hips, thigh swivel. The legs do collapse and they do transform the way, it's just the way they alternated his transformation, so his transformation to robot mode doesn't involve collapsing the legs, but his transformation to some of the other modes will. We want to leave his legs extended, obviously, for arm mode, because that's his elbow. So you just slip it for arm mode, you just take the legs, snap them together, turn the head around, bring the peg out, this piece. So you take this gun, I guess you can do it facing either way, but then take that peg and stick it into the side here, inside that. It just kind of fills in some space. And then the arms come back, you fold the hands up. And you'll notice there's a little tab here on the back of the arm that you just kind of bring back and then tab onto the fish head. There's a little blue tab here on his head that the arm just tabs into. And you just bring the arm, rotate the arm around at the wrist. I guess you can go either way. I guess really that's going to give you more of the elbow motion. And then plug the fist in. And there's an arm mode. And then for leg mode, it's very similar to this, except you, again, you want to make sure, flip his head back around so it's not peeking out the leg there. Flip that around. That's going to stay. You may need to get that out of the way. Actually, don't. Just lift that up. And here you're going to open up the legs and collapse them down like a Combiner Wars figure. Again, make sure that hinge sits flat and collapses that all the way up. Why are you not lined up right? There we go. It's just a matter, like that bottom hinge, because of the way the knee works, can sometimes be a pain to get to sit flat. You get it all the way down in there, and then as it comes up, it bends just enough to keep that whole piece. You want that to sit flat inside the leg. But yeah, see, it'll bend at that bottom hinge. Like that. And I guess those are just going to stay like this. And like this. And then you're going to plug the arms in, again, to those tabs. There on the body. Pull that down. Like that, and these you can kind of do whatever with. The arms up here. You can plug these on either. Well, I guess you can't on either side of that. There's a way. I thought there was a way to store these in fishy mode, but maybe not. Or in leg mode. So the hand, just like before, it makes the heel, and then the foot pieces. Let me grab them off a turtler here just to show it off. The foot pieces come off a turtler, and they open up. They kind of got little dual guns like that you can hold. But you flip them up to the foot on the other side. This pink piece can come off. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you just don't want that foot piece. But that forms the foot, and then you can plug the hand into the back of it just like you could for, because it looks like all the limbs are going to come with an extra hand, or come with a hand, which will be extra, to form the foot, and then put that on there like that, and there you have leg mode. Like I said, if you take this out, you could have these on the leg, but whatever. And his gun mode is essentially this, but you fold this peg down again, turn his head around like this, and then you take these, snap them together, which forms this center peg, and then plug that into the rear there. And then I guess that flip that around, so that's also a gun. And that's essentially his weapon mode, which, like I was saying, when you attach it to the limb, you pull the centerpiece out of the hand, and then you just use that combiner peg to attach it to the hand, and that's how it's gonna. That's how it'll actually attach as a target master to the back of the hand, like that. So yeah, very cool. And I think the Piranacons or the Seacons are one of my favorite. Probably are my favorite combiner team, along with Defensor and Minosaur are also up there, Predaking, but all-time favorite. Just because I love that there was an even number of them, and I liked that they could swap, unlike Devastator, like any of them could be any of the limbs and also a weapon. And I do have the TFC Piranacon back in the room, and maybe we'll pull him out when we get all of them in. But there is Generation Select Scalar.